Good morning everyone, huge welcome. Guess where we are? We are in the town, or we're very close to the town of Saranda, but will you look at that view? Corfu, you might say. Well, you'd be right, that is Corfu, the Greek island, and this is Sarandë, which is the Riviera of Albania. This is one of those towns that sort of runs up a mountain. So in order to get down there, we're going to follow whatever little pathways I can. Now this is the apartment, it's absolutely beautiful. So we've got a bedroom which overlooks also Corfu, so we've got a lovely view from the bedroom there, a balcony. Absolutely stunning. Let's get down to Saranda and enjoy the first warm day we've had in a little while. Now, there's something up here that really interests me, but I'm not going to film it today. I'll probably come tomorrow. I want to have a little talk to you about Saranda as we walk through. Now you're going to see a lot of construction going on because it's currently winter, we're December, and Saranda is one of those towns that is bustling in the summertime, but during the winter time apparently it really shuts down. I went down to the waterfront yesterday and you'll see here they're actually constructing this road, so might get a little noisy. They've just laid new tarmac along this section of road. So I was talking to one of the hoteliers on the waterfront and he said they lose 80% of their business during the winter time. So this is the time when they can get on and do roadworks, plant new trees, and generally make the place pretty for the springtime. Let me just get ahead of this guy. Thank you, man. Hello, Mandari. I think any one of these staircases will go down to the lower levels. I'm going to do this one a little further up. There's a bit more sunshine on it. This street's going to be nice when it's finished. So I think what I'm going to do is go down this one. Wow, this is steep. How gorgeous does the Ionian Sea look? And yes, Saranda lays on the edge of the Ionian Sea, which divides it between the Greek island of Corfu and the Albanian Riviera city of Saranda. Përshëndetje. Look at the pretty bougainvillea growing on this place. So you might pick up, I've been a bit frail. The last 4 days I've had some pretty bad food poisoning. Now I know where it happened, nowhere that you've seen featured on recent videos, unless I decided to show it, but you know, it happens occasionally, but it's given me 4 days of not such good health. So I'm so pleased today that it almost feels like springtime. So we're getting down to the lower streets now, typical Albanian style. There are lovely little grocery stores selling fresh fruits and vegetables. It's not unlike Sicily in that respect, is it? Which isn't a long ways away from here. So here we are. Let's walk down this way. We've got an apartment here. It somehow seems to have trees growing underneath it. How has that happened? How have they ended up with trees above an old apartment? So we'll take another couple of floors down. I love these towns. I love the way, I mean, you look at the spaghetti of phone cables and electric cables, I think, as well. It's unusual. Some little kumquats. It's the season of tangerines, mandarins and oranges, so every garden has orange trees in them. The fruit, the citrus fruit at the moment, is absolutely delicious. I'm not normally a big orange eater, but I found when I was in Sicily and now I'm in Albania, I'm eating citrus like it's going out of fashion. So it's doing me a lot of good. So where are we now? We're almost at the shoreline. maybe another couple of layers down, and I might stop and have a coffee. So you are going to notice just how quiet it is. So there's a few people here, but generally it is so quiet. At night time, when we arrived here, we came down to try and find something to eat, and there were almost, I would say, 60% of the cafes and restaurants were just shut. Very surprising. Now there's a few more places open in the daytime, serving coffees and cakes and things, so that's good. You know what I was thinking I might do actually is get the 360 camera and do a 360 walkthrough and actually put it up on YouTube as a 360 so you can see and turn around and look at all the interesting little spots here. What do you think? Let me know if you think I should do that. But by the time you see this, I may have already made that decision. So now we're getting more gradual slopes. This is the cobbled high street. The mosque in the background there. Little call to prayer. Just gently calling to prayer in the background. Doesn't this look gorgeous ahead of me? You can imagine in the summertime this would be bustling. And I believe a lot of people say to me it's almost too busy. So have we picked the perfect time to come here? I don't know. There's swings and roundabouts. It's really pleasant to walk around. The weather today is really pleasant. The day we arrived it was actually just raining hard, so it wasn't that nice. But oh look, there's a bunker here as well. The history of bunkers in Albania is quite fascinating. During the period of the dictatorship, they built these bunkers. Enver Hoxha had these bunkers built all around Albania. So many, thousands of them. This one is locked. Let's have a little look in here. Yeah, so the idea behind these bunkers, basically the guy was paranoid that they were going to be under attack. So did he build, I keep getting the numbers wrong, it's hundreds of thousands of bunkers all up and down, and it cost an absolute fortune, and money that could have been spent elsewhere, frankly. But now there were so many of them. They're scattered throughout Albania from the north to the south. So right, we are on the front now. We've got the whole of Saranda to ourselves. A handful of people. Let's get down to that coast and have a look out at the sea. There's a little gift shop selling all sorts of memorabilia from Saranda. How cool are these little glass? Hello. So the lady's saying that shop stays open all year. Very quiet, but they keep the place open all year round. So there are still things to do here. But I noticed that all these hotels on the front here, at least 50% of them are just closed or empty. And a lot of the apartments that run along the front here, you'll just see one or two lights on at night. What's in there, yeah? Oh, beautiful, fresh grupa. Grab? Grupa? Orada. Krevetia. Shrimps, prawns, shrimps. And this one? Cefalo. Beautiful. Thank you, man. Fenomenale. Ciao. Beautiful. Do you see how fresh those shrimp were? They've been caught last night, this morning at the latest. How pretty is this area? It's a little port. Little refuge from the choppy seas or the stormy weather for small boats. Beautiful clear water. all the fishing nets. There's a Burger King there. Oh, I hate Burger Kings. McDonald's, all these places. Go away. Let the locals serve us good local food, which they do very well in Albania. And if I'll be well backlit there. Can you imagine during the time of the communism, the lockdowns here, how many people would have tried to swim or take a small boat across to Corfu? It must have been, the numbers must have been immense, and whether they would have been welcomed by the Greek authorities or whether they would have been turned back, or whether there were, you know, gun posts all along the coast here, and what happened to you if you got caught. It's fascinating, isn't it, to think just how close you were to freedom. One of the first places I came down to was this waterfront, and I was just taken aback at how quiet it was. And if you see at night time, and at night time you can kind of see more clearly which rooms are being used and which are not. And there are almost no lights on in these buildings at all. There might be the odd one. I would say if you looked along this waterfront, see maybe 2 or 3 lights on in all the buildings, and many of the buildings are just completely dark. So one of the hoteliers here was saying it's pretty much empty during the winter. So that's the only thing I would say. If you were coming to Saranda in the winter time, be prepared that a lot of the places are closed and there's probably a lot less to do. The advantage of that is you'll have the whole place to yourself. Saranda itself is one of the most ancient resort towns in the region, in the Balkans for sure. Now there is a monastery up in the hills. I'm not sure if we can see it from here, whether probably one of these ruins that are up on the hillside here, and I might take a walk up there. Maybe in the next episode we'll go up and see if we can find the chapel or the monastery of 40 saints or 40 martyrs. Historically, this was one of the most well-known, iconic pilgrimage in the area. People came here to worship at the chapel of the 40 martyrs, or I think it's a monastery. Unfortunately, during the time of the communist regime, the building itself was used as a military base, and I think they just basically let the old chapel go to wreck and ruin because religion wasn't tolerated, and this was over sort of a 50-year period, so it was pretty much destroyed, and there's only a small amount of it that still remains, and I'm hoping that they'll possibly rebuild it, because Saranda itself is named after the 40 martyrs from, I think it was the 2nd century AD. So you can see even now today, midday, middle of the week, all the hotels are closed, tables are stacked, cafes are not serving. I don't know if I like it or not. I'm sort of torn between, I don't like big crowds, and it's always nice to be in a place when there are not a lot of crowds, but there's also less people watching to do. There's a lot of construction and repairs being done this time of year. I know a lot of people actually spend longer terms, maybe 2 or 3 months here in Saranda. And I think if I was coming to Albania and I wanted to spend a few months through the winter time, this would be a good city to do it in, because you can get days like this, glorious days like this. All the supermarkets are still open, so you can still buy and cook at home. And you get to have this beautiful waterfront to yourself. The downside of that is not a lot to do. I thought, oh, I'll have a coffee there, and I thought, no, I won't, because it's too busy. I'll come along here and maybe find a place to have a coffee. Is there anywhere someone can get a drink? So just come up, back up to the high street, probably more chance of getting a... So he was just saying to me, a few doors up, there's a cake shop, somewhere I can get a little cake. And I said, can I get a cake there then and have a coffee here? And he said, oh, I'll make an exception. So that was cool of him. Oh, where was he saying? Ah, here's our place. It's one of the problems I have when I come into the Albanian patisseries. The choice is just beautiful of cakes, desserts. So look, I've got a beautiful, I don't know if it's cherry cheesecake or, I didn't ask her, blueberries or cherry cheesecake. And I also got this little pistachio cream horn. Oh wow. It's filled with like a honey custard. Oh, wow. That's good. Maybe I should take the cheesecake home. Oh, thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Little lavazza, little macchiato. Oh, that's good coffee. Yeah, so just one street back, there's still a lot going on here, actually. I don't know if it's just me. I feel quite comfortable in just my shirt with a t-shirt underneath, but everyone still seems to still be wearing the big thick jackets. What I want to do is just show you Saranda as it is in December, mid-December, coming up to Christmas time, and you can make an informed decision whether you think this is the sort of place you want to come. I often find in these regional towns, people will say, oh, it's much nicer here than in the big city in Tirana. I like the big cities. I like the big cities. If you could have Tirana with that sort of waterfront, that would probably be the perfect combination. Look at this, I've just come one road back, two roads back from the coast, and it's all lively. Locals, school kids coming out of school. More shops are open. So it's really that front area that goes to sleep. They're making berek. Oh, can I take a photo? They don't mind? Oh, this is baklava. Ah, okay. And this she's making. This is for berek. Wow, beautiful store, man. Thank you. Thank you. Ciao. What about that place? What a find. It's just a family business. Good prices. Berek to kachi. The ladies are out at the back making fresh. You could see she was just cutting the baklava and getting it ready, and the other lady was rolling the berek, the pastry for the berek. See, there are great places. You know, half of me... G'day, man. So part of me was thinking... You can come in if you want, man. Part of me was thinking, oh, is everything shut down? Is it even worth being here? And then you just come back off the road. A bird shat on my shoulder. I got some bird crap on my shoulder, which is good luck, isn't it? And then, hello, man. Ciao. Prosciutto. How are you? Respe. So yeah, just come away, come away. It's the same, isn't it, everywhere, wherever you go in the world. Just come a little bit off of the beaten track and you'll find where the locals. So, okay, here's a good, like a landmark. Can you see it? There's the mosque just here. Can you see just between these two buildings, this old wall here? So that's part of the history of the city. Even this wall here, I think, is probably one of the original old walls. So yeah, just come back. You know, I wanted to take you today down to the waterfront. What I probably should have done is come back 2 or 3 streets and show you around old Saranda. Beautiful sandwiches, really reasonable prices. Little barber shops all around. There's the clock man over there. Got the view, we've got a supermarket on the left, we've got the view of the ocean, a view of the Ionian Sea, should I say, just out here. Taxi drivers everywhere. So this must be somewhere near the central. Yeah, I think this might be where all the coaches and buses arrive. So I missed this little part of town when I walked down from the apartment yesterday. So I was really starting to think that everything was shut down, but I think I've just found the heart and soul of Saranda. because the locals still have to enjoy life, right? The locals still have to come out and eat and shop. Now, what do you think that means? There's actually a goat skull hanging on the cables just here. Now, I could have zigzagged. You can get an idea of the angle of these streets. Yeah, and there's the bougainvillea. So I think I'm in the right spot. It's quite a hike up. Now you can actually follow the roads, but it adds a lot of a walk on. So I'm going to go up, straight up to the apartment. It's a long climb, but a great view. We're getting there.